For this video, I'm going to take you on a full tour of Busch Gardens, located in Williamsburg, Virginia. So today I'm in Busch Gardens, and I'm here to give you my trip report from June 2022. So the park was running reasonably well. It was super hot, and the lines were really long for the concessions. The lines for the rides were pretty good, though. I got on Pantheon pretty quickly, and the lines for Verbolten and Tempesto, I guess whatever, that thing that loops around and is basically a big loop-de-loop. Anyways, those lines were about 30 minutes to 45 minutes all day, so it was a pretty good trip overall. Keep in mind, Busch Gardens Williamsburg, even though it's a big park, a lot of the roller coasters are one-train ops, and the loading is slow. So if you see a long line, it's going to take a long time to get through it. You know, some of the big roller coasters like Pantheon can get up to a 2-hour wait time. If it looks brutal from the outside, then I would say walk past it and come back towards the end of the day, just because it is a little intense sometimes in the peak of the day, and usually in around, I guess, 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. So coming to Busch Gardens Williamsburg is kind of surreal for me, because I grew up in Florida, and Busch Gardens Tampa Bay I've probably been to 50-60 times in my life, and it's very familiar. And this park has that Busch Gardens feel, but everything is foreign, and the layout is completely different. And not only that, but the theming is so different. You know, the park in Tampa is themed after Africa, and this one has that European vibe, and it's just really interesting. The theming is amazing at both parks, and so is the food. I would definitely recommend, if you're going to go the whole day at Busch Gardens, you should definitely invest in that all-day meal plan. It's like $35, and basically you can eat one meal per hour from park open to close, and you're talking about 3-course meals with dessert and drink. And the other neat thing is when you have that all-day meal plan, you've got that wristband. You basically just walk up to any soda concession and grab a soda and go. It's pretty neat that you can basically walk around, I guess, like a communist, because they just hand things to you when you got the wristband. So it's kind of cool. One of the things about Busch Gardens that I love too is they've got the Loch Ness Monster, and it's got a loop inside of a loop. It's the most unique thing, and it's an old ride. I mean, it was built in 1978 by Aerodynamics, so it's a really old ride, not particularly intense, and it is kind of slow by today's standards. But I love the damn thing, and I get on as much as I can, and pretty much that's a must ride for me. Maybe I'm nostalgic for old Arrow rides, I don't know. It is just so neat, and the other thing that I love about Busch Gardens is a lot of their roller coasters run through the forest, so you can tell it's kind of hard to get really cool like camera shots of some of their bigger rides, and that's because the dense forest that a lot of these rides are situated. So it's kind of hard to get a good view of these things, but when you're riding them, just zooming by the trees and everything, it kind of takes up a lot of the experiences to an 11. The other thing that I can really appreciate about Busch Gardens is they run specials on their website all the time. They're a lot cheaper than going to a Disney park, for example. As somebody who lives in Florida, I can tell you Disney Park is going to run you probably about $135 for the day. And if you go and shop the sales, you often can get in for a daily pass for about $65. And often they'll run specials on the annual fun card for about $99. And so one of the things too I notice about Busch Gardens is it's always overlooked by people when they're talking about thrill rides, which is surprising because they do have a lot of roller coasters and sometimes quite a few record holders. I mean, they're not at the same level as Six Flags or Cedar Fair when it comes to record-breaking rides, but they hold their own. The other thing about the SeaWorld Busch Gardens parks is I think they are cleaner and just better executed, better landscaped than the equivalent Cedar Fair or Six Flags parks. Clearly Busch Gardens is definitely trying to theme their parks more than, say, a Six Flags or a Cedar Fair, but you're not going to see those $100 million rides that Universal Studios or Disney World will build. Busch Gardens still has to work within, a fairly limited budget compared to the big boys. I do feel that Busch Gardens has kind of cut out their own little niche. They're kind of like in the mid-price tier. I would still call Six Flags kind of the low end. They're like the Toyota Yaris of the theme parks, and I'd say Busch Gardens is more of like a Toyota Camry, with places like Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, Disney World, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, those type of places in the Lexus category. Thanks for watching this episode of The Adventure Schmuck. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See everyone next week.